Hello friends, welcome to a brand new video where I am going to tell you about the top 5 programming languages to learn in India to get a job. Yeah, you have heard it right, in India. So India is different than rest of the world. It means you might have seen a lot of programming videos on the internet for finding a developer job, but that is in the world. India is a different place. In India, we have 5 million IT workers. 5 million is a lot, means 50 lakhs IT workers we have, and that's keep on changing. Means people come and go. Here the thing is that I have heard many times managers saying that, and people work in the IT coding part for hardly 10 years. After that, most of them move to management. But in the US, what happens, people code for this whole life. So there are a lot of opportunities which are created by the people who become the manager and they don't code. So for a fresher, this video is for a fresher who want to get just into the IT industry. So what languages to learn? And as most of you might know, I am an architect. So my job is to keep an eye on the new trends, what jobs are there in the market. I know, being from a service slash product company, I know means what kind of projects we get, what is the market trend, what is the LinkedIn, all this. So this video is based on my experience, non-edited video, just based on my experience. Nothing I will show on the computer, and all those stats you can all see. So let's get started. So first two languages are, means everybody, it is same everywhere in the world, so it is not a bit different. So the first language is of course JavaScript is the king, and it will be king for the next, I think, 5-6 years. Nothing can be said after that. There is something which is coming on, but let's see, let's not go into more detail on that. So JavaScript is the king. So if you want to get a job today, you should know JavaScript. I know colleges still don't teach JavaScript, they teach Java and all, but we will come to that soon. So you have to learn JavaScript, and basically the framework, if you ask me, I will also talk about the framework. So learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because everything is a web app nowadays. Means those days are gone when we used to have desktop apps. Everything is a web app nowadays. Everything we create in the website. Means the projects which I have worked for the past 5-6 years, for the past 10 years actually, means everything, means we started with Angular, now React is there. Means nowadays, earlier, in my 16 years career, earlier we used to have desktop apps in which we click in the desktop and we have to get those apps which used to do the call, Ajax call and all those things. Nowadays we have a I work mainly in the enterprise software, so we have some website type of a thing which a person can go to the browser and check it. So every feature is there. So I mainly work in the enterprise application. So what happens in those enterprise applications, they don't see the public, we don't face the public URL side. So even the big thing like the WhatsApp web app and all those things which you see, they are all web apps. They are made on the to work on the browser. So the browser is very important, and browser, there is only one language, that is JavaScript. So you have to learn JavaScript for the browser, and JavaScript alone cannot be used to make great big apps. Like everything, means have something, either it will be made in React or Angular. So let's talk a bit about that also, whether you should know React, Angular, Vue.js. It depends. See, for the past 5 years I have kept switching between Angular projects and React project, but React has, I think it has won. Means nowadays the new project which will start, even in the enterprise, earlier it was used to happen that the startup world used to love React a lot and enterprise used to love Angular a lot, because Angular started some 4-5 years before React. So what happens, a lot of the old projects are in Angular, but those projects are slowly getting over. Those days are gone when the projects used to drag for years and years. So those days are gone. But even some projects are there in the maintenance project which comes, and in India there are a lot of, means a maintenance project comes a lot in the service companies, bigger service companies. So yeah, Angular also you'll get a lot of job, so you can learn Angular also, but I will say learn React. The spectrum is wide. You can get a job in a startup also, you can get a job in enterprise also. So everywhere you can means get job in a product based company also. So everybody uses React and loves React. The ecosystem has evolved a lot. That's the trends which I see. Even in our company, if some job comes, there will be 7 jobs which will be for React and 3 jobs will be for Angular. So this is the industry trends. Even in the service companies, most jobs are coming for React. So learn React very well, everything. So you can find all React related material on my channel, React hooks, starting React hooks, Redux, everything I teach. So you can go and there. And with JavaScript and React, the best thing is that you learn one language, you can go to another 2 things. Means you can go to backend also, you learn Node.js. Yeah, Node.js in the backend, very easy thing to learn, very easy thing to learn. You just can start coding a one project with Node.js. Even the MongoDB which is there, it uses JSON, which is nothing but JavaScript object. Okay, so Node.js again. One thing is that I want to know, there is something new known as Dino, which they say is a replacement for Node.js, but please don't learn that. It is still time for Dino. Still another 1 or 2 years you give. Nobody is using Dino in the industry. Literally nobody is using. Then React Native. Then React Native you can learn, because if you know JavaScript, you can learn React Native. For mobile development means it's very easy to pick up. I am mainly a web developer nowadays. Earlier I used to do some Swift development, but now I'm mainly a web developer. So sometimes I do React Native for tutorials, some freelancing I have done in the past on React Native. It's very easy to pick up as a React developer. So that's why I say React Native, and not to learn Flutter and Dart. Flutter, because Flutter you have to learn a new language. Dart, why should I learn a new language when JavaScript I already know? So just master one language. So number one language to get a job in India as a fresher is JavaScript, and is JavaScript. And number 2 language again is the same thing in the world. So if you are a worldwide viewer, this is the same thing. JavaScript is the first language to learn. The second language to get a job is Python, and this is same in India also and worldwide also. It is Python. So Python, Python has gained more popularity because of machine learning and AI. Machine learning and AI can be done much better in Python than any other language, and machine learning is a craze nowadays. Machine learning, so for that reason Python. But you can do the web development part also in Python, mainly the backend part. There are some very good frameworks known as Django and Flask. So they're like Node.js, they're for the backend. Again, as I said, for the front end you have to come to JavaScript. There is no other alternative. The front end have to be coded in HTML, CSS, JavaScript only. And with JavaScript, it means HTML, CSS and JavaScript can come through a framework also like React and Angular, which is a must in India to get a job. React and Angular. Okay, so we are talking about Python. The second thing, Python. So Python, because machine learning, it is so much popular, and Django and Flask also, I see a lot of jobs posted there. Like I see a lot of job posted like you React in the front end and Django in the back end. So those kind of jobs are there. So for them you have to learn 2 languages, JavaScript and Python, and it's okay. Means Python is not that difficult to master. I have done some hobbies project. Earlier Python was used to do a lot of hobbies project like Arduino and Raspberry Pi, those lighting things. They're done very good in Python. So I had done those things in Python a lot. So that is good. Means second language in India and in world to get a job is Python as a fresher. I'm talking everything as a fresher. Means as a fresher, if you want to learn something, as a new person, if you want to get into development, so those things. So JavaScript and Python. The third thing, the third job, from third language, it is different from whatever you will see some videos on the internet. They say about the world, but I'm not saying about the world, I'm saying about India. So the third language is Java. Yeah, you heard it right, it's Java. No other language. I will not talk about Rust and all those things. This is India. In India, Java is still the king. Why it is still the king? Because in the 90s, when we started, when our IT industry started, all those bank projects and all we got, those were in Java. And one thing, I have worked in the investment banking domain for a lot of time, those bank projects don't go anywhere. They still uses the 30-year-old projects are still there, so they're still in Java. So why you're so you might be thinking, but there are a lot of people in Java. Yeah, there are a lot of people in Java, but as I've told earlier, in India what happens, the people generally become a manager and go to the non-technical side after 10 years. So those people are gone. Now the Java is required again. Another thing I want to tell about Java, see, that I have seen in the industry with big projects. Big projects don't use something like enterprise projects I'm talking, and even the bigger projects like I don't know the architecture of Google, WhatsApp and all those things, but yeah, they don't have Node.js in the backend. The Node.js cannot take the pressure or the performance if you want, because of Java multi-threading. Java has something known as multi-threading. You have to use Java in the backend. No other thing is there. Means enterprise level project uses Java in the backend. In front end they generally use React, and Java is there in the backend. So Java resources are required. Yeah. So it's good to learn Java. And nowadays a new trend is emerging, which I am seeing. It is a full stack Java developer. So what is a full stack Java developer? A developer who knows Java in the backend and React in the front end. So that is the thing which is a lot in the industry nowadays. Means, and I know it's very difficult to master, because actually I also tried to master that, but Java is totally a different language to JavaScript, and it's very complicated to learn. And also, but if you give your 100%, you learn Java. I don't go much into Java nowadays, but there are good frameworks like Spring MVC and all. So because the classes concept sometimes tends to be means a bit difficult to take into, but yeah, if you have a React and Java, if you are full stack Java developer, they are known as full stack Java developer, you can conquer the world anytime. Because even if a startup is there which is scaling up, so they change their backend to Java. So initially they might create a project in the MERN stack. MERN means MongoDB, Express, React and Node. They will create a project in that. Okay, but slowly when their users subscriber increases in the startup, they will move towards Java in the backend. So that is a must. Then the fourth language to learn is C#. Yeah, you heard it right. C# is still relevant today. And the thing is that I've seen a lot of projects, as I have told, that India is mainly we have many service companies. Still the older projects are in ASP.NET, and even the newer projects are being created. They are being created in ASP.NET. Okay, so ASP.NET means, and I have seen another trend means, which is ASP.NET goes very well with Angular. So a lot of client requirement are there, and they ask for Angular with ASP.NET. Again, like React goes well with Java, ASP.NET, C#, that ASP.NET is the framework actually. So that goes well, very very well with Angular. So Angular, ASP.NET is a hot trend. So that's why my fourth language is C#. You have to learn C#. It's a very good language means to learn. I don't know that much about C#, to be fair. I know only JavaScript. JavaScript is my main domain. Python I know a bit, more than a bit, because I have done some coding in that. Java I know, I have worked in a project, very small project in Java, not a small project, so it was a big project, but for a small duration I have worked in Java. So then the fifth and final language is Kotlin. Yeah, you heard it right, Kotlin. So Kotlin is a newer language which is used for mainly mobile development, and that's also Android mobile development. So why like this? So if you go to some video from the US videos or Euro video, they will say Swift instead of Kotlin, but most of you will know why I'm saying Kotlin. India, how much percentage is iPhone? Hardly 1 or 2%. 98% people uses Android phone. Those who can afford iPhone also uses OnePlus. That is a fact here. Everybody loves Android. If you have money also, which a lot of IT people have, they will buy a OnePlus or a Samsung phone. That I have seen, and that everybody knows. pick up something, you will see that 98% is Android. I don't know right now, means maybe more than, but it is more than 95% is Android. And I know a lot of startup which starts, suppose a startup launch. I will give an example. I was searching for home in Bangalore. So I was having iPhone at that time. So there is a very good startup known as No Broker. So I was searching for that app in the app store, but there was no app in the app store. So I called, they actually called me. So I called them, why don't you have an app in the app store? Sir, we have an Android app, we don't have an iOS app, because we don't have the users in iOS. So that's the thing. So you might be saying, why learn Kotlin? Because you can do the same thing with React Native and Flutter. Why learn Kotlin? So one thing is that native app development is 100 times better than doing with React Native and all. Means the bigger companies, they will always go for native app development, and they will have two things. One will be developing the Android, and the iOS development will be done in Shift. So that's why I'm saying Kotlin. So it is picking up a lot. And the people, see, Android development you can do in Java also, but the newer people, they are learning Kotlin, and Kotlin is much better with what I've heard than Java. Have the same features, but it's much better, and it is a very good future, because Google is supporting its Kotlin means. So, and that native app development, what is the benefit of the native app development? The benefit of native app development is that it has got more feature than your normal this React Native and Flutter, which it's very difficult to even get a notification in an app in React Native and Flutter. It's very easy to get in Kotlin, getting the camera access, all those things. I used to be Swift developer, so I know Swift. I used to develop for iOS 5-6 years back as a hobby, so that I know. So Kotlin is a language to learn. The fifth language to learn is Kotlin. You'll get a lot of job. Means if you know Kotlin, all the startups have their in India have their teams working on the Android app. Because whenever a startup launch in India, they launch the Android app first, as the story which I have told. They will launch an Android app first. iOS app will be the last thing on their mind, because India, we don't have people using iPhones. Whoever you see, it is 1%. India's population is that much that 1% will see a lot, but it is not a lot. 1% is not a lot. 1 or 2% is not a lot, and nobody will go after that. Okay, so Kotlin is a thing to learn. Then, so I have covered all the 5 languages, but I want to do one more honorable mention. Maybe you can think it as a sixth, and that is PHP. Yeah, PHP is relevant still today. PHP was the language on which the whole of internet was made. Actually, the famous side of the internet, Facebook, was created in PHP. Okay, PHP is a backend language. Okay, so front end, again, it used to be JavaScript. So, but it's a backend language, but it is required for one of the thing which powers around, even today it's powered around 70% of the sites on the internet, which is WordPress. Yeah, you heard it right. WordPress is a drag and drop tool. I know that it's not a good tool for a developer to learn. I also don't like it that much. But if you go deep into WordPress ecosystem, because in India there are a lot of freelancers who make their lives on WordPress. I know a lot of freelancers whose bread and butter comes from WordPress. I know a lot of development small agencies, small service companies, they're known as service companies in India, who works on WordPress. So freelancing world, WordPress is still the king. Okay, so WordPress is there, but what's the problem with WordPress is a drag and drop tool. But why to learn PHP with WordPress? Because WordPress, if you even get a small problem, see some enhancement you need to do, you need to go inside the theme. We use themes in WordPress, so for that you need to PHP. You want to develop your custom theme. See, after some time everybody sees that, yeah, I should develop my custom theme. So for that PHP is required. A custom theme, plugins, WordPress plugins, the vast ecosystem is there for plugins. So the plugins require WordPress. So, and plugins require not WordPress, PHP. So, and the next thing is that there is Laravel. the PHP framework, everybody was saying that PHP is dying and it is the age of frameworks. From React to Django to Spring, MVC for Java, ASP.NET. So PHP has also created a masterpiece known as Laravel, and Laravel is used a lot. Laravel is used a lot by even professional agencies. I've seen Laravel using a lot. So yeah, so PHP is still there. Okay, so these are my 5 languages plus one honorable mention. First JavaScript, second Python, third Java, fourth C#, fifth Kotlin, and sixth PHP. So these are the language for a fresher to learn in India to get a job in 2021. Hope you like the video. See my other video also, in which I go through the means the web development in 2021. It's a very big video in which I go into details about everything what a fresher should learn in India today. Okay, so go through that video also, you'll find it useful. Thank you and see you again.